AATE. I'm Olivia here with our Young Playwrights for Change winner Taylor. I'm just going to ask her a couple of questions about her play Uprooted that she submitted for a competition this year. So, hi Taylor, how are you?
Good.
Good, we're happy you're here. Thanks for coming and joining us here in Minneapolis. So what is Uprooted about in your own words?
I think it is, when I got the original idea, I think it is about the chain of bullying and how the bully can become the victim and vice versa, where the victim can turn into the bully. But I also think it's about how each person has a unique experience in bullying, and it's not all good and bad with the bully and the victim, because things can interchange and everyone has a different experience. And so it's not completely black and white.
Right.
And it can be very different at different times.
Absolutely, and it totally depends on each person interacting too. Like, I remember in the chain of events, each character reacts so much differently than the person before them. What do you think about how each of these characters are so different? Do you think if we switched the situations in which everything happened, that they would react the same or differently?
I think all the different characters got a chance to be bullied, so we saw in the ways in which they would react. But I think it would change just a little bit if they were bullied by a different person because of the relationships they have with that person. For example, if, say, Mariana were to be bullied by the father, that would be completely unprecedented because they're pretty much strangers.
Right.
And the only way they're connected is through like the chain of bullying.
Interesting. I love it. Okay. So, is there a specific event or moment in your life that inspired you to write this play? I know bullying is kind of a trend that we're seeing in schools, which is really unfortunate. But I'm wondering if there was a moment with you that inspired you to really dive into this topic.
I don't think there was a specific moment, but that my thought process was that we were talking about bullying in literacy class, and I was thinking about, and everyone was talking about writing their plays about how this person's the bully and this person's the victim, and how the victim can overcome the bully. And I think that is a really good message and a good play idea, but it just got me thinking, like, this isn't always the situation, and I kind of want to highlight in my play how this doesn't always happen, and it can happen differently, and kind of provide some backstory for the characters, because usually when this is happening, the bully has something else on their mind, or they're pushed to the limit so that they think they have to put others down to feel better about themselves.
So true. Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but it's so fascinating how all of it happens so quickly too, right? And so in your play, you use this weed motif to kind of describe how every time someone contributes to bullying or the weed, it grows and grows.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's so cool. So how do you think? And at the end, is it Jimena uproots the weed at the end of the play, and then we go back and we have the opportunity to start over as an audience. How do you think, in terms of the real world, the weed can finally be uprooted?
So I don't think that anytime soon the weed can be like completely uprooted, and there can be like no bullying ever in the world, because like I said, every situation is different.
Right.
And so there's a slightly different solution to everything that happens. But I think kindness, I mean, if you're just kind to the victim and kind to the bully as well, I think that helps, because there's a lot of negative energy and feelings around situations in which people are bullying and being bullied. So I think if you see a situation in which someone's being bullied, just step in and not only comfort the victim, but also the bully, and try and figure out what's going on.
So do you think trying to understand both sides, the bully and the person, is the solution to bullying? You do? Nice. Okay. So what do you think we can gain, like, as an understanding about bullies? Should we focus more on the bully and what they're going through? Should we focus more on who is getting bullied? What do you think?
I think there needs to be support on both sides. I mean, obviously, the victim does need like attention because they've been bullied and they're the victim and they didn't really do anything in order to deserve that. So I think supporting the victim is super important, but I don't think there's a lot of understanding or like support for the bully in today's society, or what you usually see in a school situation where the bully just gets reprimanded.
Right.
And I think that we need to start focusing on both sides.
Okay, nice. And that's perfect segue into my next question. So do you think, what should teachers and adults like me going into high school, is there anything that you think we should know from your perspective and from other students' perspective about what we can do to help prevent and stop bullying in our schools?
In a school setting, I think that teachers or other adults in there hold a position of authority, so I think there is some more effectiveness in stopping the bullying situation,
Right.
because like everyone follows the teacher's instructions and everything, so I think you can have more of an impact on stopping bullying situations. So maybe learning more tells or cues about, oh, this might be going on, possible conflict, and then just kind of getting to know students more, and so that you can stay closer to them, and that might prevent some of these instances from happening.
Okay, so it's building those relationships.
Yes.
Cool, okay. And then my favorite question, what character do you most identify with and why? I would say mine is Jeremy, just because I would say I'm very focused on achieving as well, and as the older sibling, I could totally see how I could very easily, affect my younger sibling with all of the anger that I felt, that I would feel if my parents were upset about my grades. So, which character is for you?
I think I would probably say Mariana, the Filipino girl who gets bullied by Evan, because like when she is in the situation, she's like avid and she's defending her friend Jimena, the fact that she speaks Spanish and is Hispanic and everything. And she's very outspoken in that way, and I'd like to think that I would react the same way if I were in the same situation. But then in the notes, like in the stage directions, it shows that she's a little unsure about herself, and I think I also sometimes have those self-doubts, and I identify with that, and I think I would start feeling like, oh, maybe that's true about me, or maybe I should stop doing that, like inside.
Gotcha. That's intense. I know that self-doubt is like so crushing sometimes, but I'm glad that you conquered it to submit your play. It's awesome. So is there anything else we should know about your play before we see it this morning? Or anything you want us to think about as audience members?
Nothing that we haven't already covered, but I guess just the big thing that I have come to appreciate in my play that I actually didn't think about too much before is the diversity of the people and the situations, and just pay attention to the different kinds of people that are being bullied and how they react, and so that accurately portrays how things happen in real life.
Awesome. That sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Taylor, for joining us. Come catch Uprooted, that's stage reading this morning at 9:30. Thanks so much for tuning in, AATE.